Hello, my brothers and sisters of Christ. Today we're going to be summarizing Galatians chapter 2 and 3. In chapter 2, Paul writes about the apostles in Jerusalem, how they follow one doctrine. Paul just got done telling the Galatians that he received the gospel from Christ himself, and that he never talked to one of the apostles except for Peter 3 years later. And now we're caught up for chapter 2. Then, after 14 years, I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas, and also took Titus with me. And I went up by revelation, and communicated to them that gospel which I preach among the Gentiles. When they saw that the gospel for the uncircumcised had been committed to me, as the gospel for the circumcised was to Peter. And when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that had been given to me, they gave me Barnabas, the right hand of fellowship, that we should go to the Gentiles and they to be circumcised. Paul is just explaining to them how they know that Paul has the correct and true gospel. He received it from God himself. He didn't talk to any apostles until 3 years later. And then 14 years later, when he met more of the apostles in Jerusalem, they approved of the work that he was doing, which was to spread the word to the Gentiles. Then he tells the Galatians that true apostles are correctable. Now when Peter had come to Antioch, I withstood him to his face, because he was to be blamed. For before certain men came from James, he would eat with the Gentiles, but when they came, he withdrew and separated himself. So it's saying here that no individual apostle is infallible. Even if he speaks officially, he is correctable. But when I saw that they were not straightforward about the truth of the gospel, I said to Peter before them all, if you, being a Jew, live in a manner of the Gentiles, and not as the Jews, why do you compel Gentiles to live as Jews? We who are Jews by nature, and not sinners of the Gentiles, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by faith in Jesus Christ, even we have believed in Christ Jesus, that we might be justified by faith in Christ, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law no flesh shall be justified. The source of salvation and faith is Christ. And in chapter 3, Paul talks about how the life of faith is in the Spirit. Who has bewitched you that you should not obey the truth? Before whose eyes Jesus Christ was clearly portrayed among you as crucified. Did you receive the Spirit by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith? Therefore, he who supplies the Spirit to you and works miracles among you, does he do it by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith? Just as Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him for righteousness. Therefore we know that only those who are of faith are sons of Abraham. So this is what the New Testament is all about. The sons of Abraham are now the believers of Christ. It's not about genealogy or race. Then Paul talks about being free from the curse. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become a curse for us, that the blessing of Abraham might come upon the Gentiles in Christ Jesus, that we may receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. Then Paul writes about how sonship is the promise, not law. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He does not say, and to seeds, as of many, but as of one, and to your seed, who is Christ. For as many of you as were baptized into Christ have put on Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is neither male nor female, for you all are one in Christ Jesus. And if you are Christ, then you are Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise. And that concludes the reading for the day. God bless. I'll see y'all tomorrow.